What's up, YouTube streaming platforms? What's up with y'all, man? It's been a while since I had that one-on-one talk with y'all. But we back up in this thing. And as always, I always like to give appreciation to the listeners. I fuck with y'all heavy, especially if you're actually taking this information and running with it. Again, appreciate you for listening, watching the videos. I will forever say that because I know what it feels like to be on the bottom. But nonetheless, this is a new podcast episode that is the podcast series about nothing. If you're new to this actual channel, if you don't have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, I started this podcast series about a month and a half ago, and I've been running with it. Basically, this series is anything and everything that I personally can put out there for the listeners to basically put some game out there. You know what I mean? Basically, try to level up, help my people level up as far as the listeners and anybody that actually takes this information. So that's basically it. But this is, I believe, episode 7. It's been a while since like I said, I've sat in front of the camera. So let's get into it, man. Let's fucking get into it. This one is actually going to be about confidence. Confidence is a big fucking word. I'm not going to lie. At first, I'm not going to lie, I was a little eerie about confidence because I didn't have it at first, but I written down some things that helped me throughout the years. I would say about 6-7 years, man, not even, I'm fucking damn near 9 years. It's helped me out build my confidence and have different relationships with people and stuff like that. So I think the first one, I got them written down here because your boy forgets. Y'all know that. I think the first thing I want to talk about is the definition of confidence. Like, what is confidence? Like, when you say that, what comes to your mind? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm asking you the question. But I think for me, it's just the self-belief within yourself. I think that's the most simplest term that I can come up with. And a lot of that shit goes over a lot of people's head. And I'm stuck here trying to figure out like how, you know what I mean? Like, but that's why I'm here. I'm trying to help you out. And it's just a result of the experiences and the way you were brought up, the way your family raised you. I think confidence has a shitload to do with the type of people you're around too, the relationships you've been in, the friendships you have, stuff like that. And then also too, I have no idea where that word came from. But also too, I think self-esteem and confidence get misconstrued sometimes, and they're totally different. And I have this written down because I wanted to write it down to be exactly the way I say it. So it's basically the way self-esteem is how we feel about ourselves, the way we look, and the way we think. Confidence is the term we use to describe how we feel about our ability to perform roles, functions, and tasks. So there can be where someone has high self-esteem but low confidence, and vice versa. High confidence but low self-esteem. And I think that's, like I said, that's something that a lot of people kind of misinterpret. But two separate things, man. Two separate things. But I think for me, we'll start off with the first thing that helped me out was finding someone that finding a role model. Finding a role model you can look up to, because there's several things that I'll go into. When you see these people and they're doing the things that you lack in, you can always learn from these people. So, for instance, I found someone that I looked up to, and I just saw the way they talked, saw the way they spoke to other people. Actually, saw them as, not gonna sound well, maybe, but just actually paying attention to every little detail that they do, but that makes a difference in your own confidence because you can actually use it. So the way they built rapport with different people, different friends, different family members, stuff like that, it can definitely rub off on you, and you want to be around somebody that's going to help you out too. So I think the next thing with finding a role model is ask them questions like, why did you say this particular thing? Why do you do this when this and this and this happens? And figure out their actual reason, because I'm telling you, it's gonna help you tremendously. And I think also too, when speaking to these people about confidence, actually figure out how they're fulfilling their task, like how they are. That sounds too broad, but how they wake up every day going to work. You know what I mean? Like, what confidence does somebody have to wake up every day to go to work and perform well? That's probably the simplest way I can put it. Every day people do that, and not a lot of people realize how much work it takes, and how much confidence you have, that goes into that particular thing. But it's as easy as it sounds, man. Just find someone that you look up to and pick their brain. Find out what makes them them, and what make them confidence too. No matter the situation, jobs, relationships, friendships, anything at all. I would say just ask them questions, and use it to your advantage. Create your own monster with, not a monster, but create your own confidence within yourself, and I'm sure you'll go far. I think the next one is treat others with compassion and respect. This one for me, I had to I had to figure out maybe a little bit later in my life, and it just came down to, honestly, treat people the way you want to be treated. I know there's several times where I've made a couple mistakes, and that's not how I want to be treated. So I switched my ways, and it's been working ever since. I'm not gonna lie, it's been working ever since, and um, I feel like all that uh, all that mindset. Whenever my mindset changed, that to have compassion and respect others, that for me, shit started to change, and it just whenever you do these things, to have these conversations with friends and spouses, throughout relationships, you get more comfortable with having other conversations with other people, and that's what I've learned too. Like, I've learned to have difficult, uncomfortable conversations with family members, with spouses, and everything like that, and it transformed the way I talk to regular everyday friends. Like, I'm able to have that confrontation with the uncomfortable conversation with somebody that before I wouldn't have had. So, man, treat people with respect, treat people with compassion, because it comes back, man. It comes back around, and you never know when you can use some compassion and some respect. But the next one, uh, is huge, 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 and I always preach this. I always preach this because this goes a long way, and I think for me, it changed my whole perspective on everything that I thought about. But it's practice positive thinking. Trust me, I say this all the time. You have to, because your confidence relies. I mean, these things did help me out, but I think that's the biggest one: positive thinking. Because if you go into an interview, if you go into a relationship with negative thoughts, um, the only downfall from there is, I mean, the shit that you're thinking. You know what I'm saying? So once you put out that energy of the positive thinking, shit will start to change. I promise. I promise. I promise. Promise. But um, and also too, I think when we're talking about realistic sense of like your compatibilities and stuff like that, it's also it's just it helps out whenever you're trying to figure out who you are. Does that make sense? As far as like, when you have positive thinking about working out, when you have positive thinking about podcasting, when you have positive thinking about doing anything that you're passionate about, if you can't have confidence and positive thinking, it's not going to get worse, but it's going to be a terrible situation. Whereas if you did have confidence and positive thinking, it would have been so much better. So hopefully that helps you out. Um, Hopefully that brings you some confidence, and man, what a time to be alive right now, because this is seventh episode, and I'll be honest with you, man. Before I did all these episodes, I was having a hard time trying to put these things out, and I was just like, man, fuck it. I'm gonna put it out. If the people mess with it, if the people mess with it, cool. If they I mean, if the people don't mess with it, cool. If they do, then hell yeah, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But that is a little quick episode, a little quick talk with y'all. That's gonna conclude this episode, man. Follow these tips, man. I'm gonna go over them one more time for y'all. Ways to build confidence: find yourself a confidence role model. Treat others with compassion and respect. Practice positive thinking, by far the most important in my head, my mindset, what helps me every day. And you'll turn out just fine. But that's going to be it, man. That's going to conclude this episode. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate you listening. Until next, this is the podcast series about nothing. Until next time, hopefully we got an episode 8. Can't guarantee you, but yeah, hopefully, man. I appreciate y'all. We out here. Peace.